Hi there, Commander aficionados and all 69 of my subscribers. Fucking love each and every one of you. Today I have a very special and very degenerate combo deck for very special and very degenerate deck builders such as yourselves. For a very long time, I've held this combo near and dear to my heart, but like a kennel dog with a history of biting or a millennial trying to enter the housing market, I've been unable to find a forever home for it. That is, until now. Are you sick of trying to play fair and getting pub stomped by the sweaty, try-hard assholes at your local game store? Are you on the brink of quitting the format for good and finally focusing on school or your career or mental health? Do you like birds? Do you like birds? If you answered in the affirmative to any of those questions, boy have I got the deck for you, because this is Dead Birds Lock. Okay, you're probably wondering, Mox cardboard? Is it? What is Dead Birds Lock? It's a reference to the result of Elish Norn and Dovescape, which are the core pieces of our combo. How this works is pretty simple. You resolve a Dovescape. The Dovescape turns any non-creature spells your opponents cast into 1/1 bird tokens instead, but since we have Elish Norn, which gives our opponent's creatures -2/-2, they're gonna get a bunch of dead fucking birds whenever they cast a non-creature spell.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
This effectively locks our opponents out of the game if they're heavily reliant on non-creature spells, which most try-hard decks tend to be. Dovescape also counters your spells, but you still get to keep your birds, and Elish Norn is going to make them 3/3s. Your commander, which by the way is Alayla Artful Provocateur, is going to buff your birds even more, making them 4/3s. Another added bonus given to us by running Alayla as our commander is that, like Dovescape, she triggers on cast. So if we have Elish Norn, Dovescape, and Alayla out, we can get twice as much flying tokens from our non-creature token casts. For example, if we cast a Grasp of Fate or Rhystic Study or whatever, that's going to trigger both Alayla and Dovescape, which will give us 3 4/3 fairies and 3 4/3 birds for just 3 mana. Not bad for a 17 mana combo, right? You might still be skeptical as to how we're going to resolve such an expensive combo. Well, just follow this basic strategy I'm about to lay out for you, and you should be able to land the Dead Birds Lock more often than not. First, you want to attempt to resolve Dovescape before Elish Norn to protect the latter piece of your combo from counter magic. Wait for the right time to do this. Unless you've had a god tier opening hand and have enough mana rocks to cast this on turn 2 or 3 with a way of tutoring Elish Norn, then you're going to want to wait until the shields are down before trying to resolve the combo. What do I mean by that? Shields being down and all. You want to wait either until someone has already tried to win or resolve a particularly threatening spell so that your opponents will already have cast their counter spells or other forms of removal. Another great indicator of the shields being down is both the amount of open mana an opponent has and the number of cards in their hand. If an opponent has blue in their deck, has 2 or 3 open mana with 4 or more cards in hand, you may want to hold off, especially if they've already demonstrated that they have counterspells in the deck. Unless you absolutely need the Dovescape, or you have your own counterspells for protection, you should probably wait until they're either tapped out or have 3 or fewer cards in hand. In any case, use your best judgment, and if you make a mistake, learn from it. Worst case scenario, your Dovescape is countered, maybe after that they don't have another counterspell for your Elish Norn, and it's never bad in a deck that makes flying tokens. Now that you know the combo and the general strategy for pulling it off, we should consider the steps we need to take to reach our win condition. This deck packs a lot of high quality card advantage tools as well as a premium suite of removal spells. From turn 1 to game end, we're going to be using our card advantage spells to dig as deep into our library as we need to go to find our combo pieces. Along the way, we're going to remove particularly problematic threats to our own game plan, while ramping and making fairy tokens to help keep us alive. But how do we know when to respond to a threat or decide whether or not something is threatening enough that it requires some form of response? Typically, we always want to counter or remove things our opponents cast that will either directly affect our Dead Birds combo, put them way ahead of us in terms of card advantage, or just simply beat us to death. Do yourself a favor and really play up the severity of your opponent's threats whenever they play them. For example, if someone casts an Aura Shards, the correct response is nearly always,
Ah! Shit! Fuck me! Fuck me!
Do this to convince your opponents to spend their removal spells so that you don't have to. It's always best to be the last player with any counter spells left when it's your time to try to resolve your combo. In regards to the deck's speed scale, we find ourselves leaning further to the control side of things. This deck isn't full-on stacks, hard lock, grindy control, but we are certainly leaning closer to that playstyle than we are to an all-gas, no-breaks, aggro style deck. When playing Dead Birds combo, you want to sit back, relax, and take your time. You want the game to go to the late stages so that you have enough mana and enough of your opponent's plans and resources have gone out the window. This deck wants to sail smoothly under the radar to the late game, where you can slap down your Dovescape Elish Norn combo after a few people have tried to win and have been foiled. This deck is great against opponents that try to win the game early and decks that need non-creature spells to function. This deck is incredibly flexible, but it's not bulletproof. Our combo doesn't do anything against creature spells and can still be destroyed by permanents already on the battlefield or by creatures that remove either one of the pieces. Beyond that, this deck is loads of fun and a great way to give your friends the bird. Or the bird, not give them the birds because they'll be dead. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.